Melissa had been dragging a severely sprained ankle for over 600 miles that was caused when she post-holed in the deep snows just after we left Ashland, Oregon. A few days of rest in South Lake Tahoe were needed before we entered what many consider to be the toughest section of the PCT, the Sierra Mountains. We both enjoyed the downtime in Tahoe, resting, gorging on food, and prepping for the hike to come. We took 4 days, and we were off into the heart of the Sierras on July 1st. Still some snow left here in the Sierras. This is coming south out of Tahoe, and straight ahead, that is the trail to get back to the other side that we just came down. It's a big snow slope, but as you can see here, there's a chute that runs right down, and it runs down a couple hundred feet. So if you were to slip off of the trail here and go down that chute, it would not turn out well for you. So we just navigated that. We didn't use micro spikes, but there's definitely still snow up here in the Sierras. So we're up in the mountains, headed southbound towards Sonora Pass and North Kennedy Meadows Resort. And I don't know if you can see the dust in the air. It's actually not dust. It's actually the pollen from the pine trees. And it's created like a haze over the mountains that we followed through all day long. Pretty crazy. We're at Sonora Pass. And we heard that there may be some trail magic here at the campground for Independence Day. So we're going up to check it out. There's a bunch of hikers up here. This is a good sign.
Howdy.
How are ya?
Good. How are you guys? I'm
Fantastic.
Retro.
Hi, Retro.
My wife Cheryl and
Thank you.
Hi.
Cheryl.
Cheryl. Yeah, there's beer, sodas.
All
And-
right. Happy
Have a
4th of
seat.
July to all of us.
Normally I do this with something that doesn't roll as easy.
So we're above Sonora Pass, up around 11,000 feet, a little higher. And we've been crossing some snow mounds across the trail, but this is the biggest one yet. Trail leads up here, and then it dog legs across that. You can see that ridge line there of snow. It goes all the way to the top of that peak, and that's where we got to climb. sound you're about to hear is man bear pig. There he was. You'll never capture him on film though. So Melissa and I are at Yosemite National Park, and in the background that's Tuolumne Falls. We just hiked in this morning and we're getting ready to go to Tuolumne Meadows to do some resupply and then head on to Mammoth Lakes.
Yeah.
Are you having fun, baby?
Yeah. I'm having a great time.
Are you?
Yeah, I really...
You sound like you're faking it for the camera. I'm just being honest.
No, if I was faking for the camera, I'd be like, I am having so much fun. But I'm having a lot of fun. There are mosquitoes eating us up. But,
yeah, so we've been...
It's totally worth it.
It's totally worth the mosquitoes. We love the mosquitoes.
Nobody's going to see this but us, right?
Well, I'm going to put it on YouTube, but
No,
otherwise, no.
nobody wants to
nobody
see
else
you.
is going to see it.
Nobody wants to see
I know,
you.
but they want to see you because you're famous.
Oh.
Okay, bye everybody. Mosquitoes are killing us. Melissa and I are up in the Sierra Mountains. We just left Mammoth Lakes and hiked for the day, and we are camped next to a creek. I think you can see the creek running over there next to us. It's filling up quickly. You can see the ground's quickly getting saturated here. We walked in rain most of the day today, and then it died away. Now it is just torrential, but fortunately for us, we were able to get into a spot and get our tent set up right before the rains just came down and the bottom just fell out of the sky. So we're in our tent. For the most part, we're dry, and we'll see how the rest of the night goes. We'll have to keep an eye on that creek if the rain keeps coming down like this. And the tent has served us well so far. However, we're in our first legitimate rainstorm since we've been on the trail. It is raining heavy outside, but the tent hasn't been set up for more than 20 minutes, and there's water leaching through the material on the bottom of the tent on both sides. So the tent's filling up with water. I don't know if the material on the bottom of the tent is defective or delaminated. There's no holes, but you know, this is the spot where I was sitting, and the whole spot got soaking wet. If you look at the other areas of the tent, everything looks fine, but there's been no weight or pressure sitting on that spot. But there's something defective about the tent. We're about 17 miles out of Mammoth Lakes, and we got caught in a horrible rainstorm last night. Rained for about 6 or 7 hours. This was a little strolling creek that we were camped by, and now it's a raging river. This is Fish Creek, up in the high Sierra Mountains. Things can change here very quickly. We got just drenched last night, so much so that our tent failed and water leaked into the bottom of our tent all over all of our things. It was a long night. Well, this is just finishing her crossing a Bear Creek, and I'm following behind her. We just crossed Selden Pass and we are hiking down to the lake below the pass on the south side, and there's this beautiful creek that runs down into the lake, and I'm hoping you can see them here in the water. There are a bunch of trout swimming upstream in the water, or at least holding their place, trying to swim upstream in the water. There they go. So it's pretty cool to see them. I don't have a fishing pole, so we'll just have to watch them swim. Besides, these are too small to catch and eat anyway. coming down off of Selden Pass, and the skies had been clear and sunny all day, but they grayed up here in the last hour or two, and now there is heavy rain falling down on the mountain ahead of us, and looks like this is going to be our third day in a row to get caught in a rainstorm. Here's our crossing of Evolution Creek, the famed crossing on the PCT. I have to put away my video camera now. Stream current's getting stronger. Melissa and I just crossed Evolution Creek, considered to be the most dangerous creek crossing on the Pacific Crest Trail. It wasn't as high as it can be, but to give you an idea, if you look, Melissa's wet all the way up to the top of her skirt, and the water came all the way up to here on me. It's very deep and the current's very strong. So there's the creek there. It's wide here, fortunately, otherwise it's a rushing torrent further down. We are almost to the top of Mather Pass, and you can see the spiral coming up here. It's quite a climb. It's not as steep as the golden staircase that actually leads up to the lakes over there in the background, but it has been quite a climb. It's 4,000 feet from the bottom up to the top, and we are beat, but you can see hikers climbing and snaking down who've just crossed over from the other side. And it sounds like there's a helicopter going up over the mountains now, which we haven't seen that before. We've seen a couple of planes go overhead, but since we've been in the high Sierras, we haven't seen any helicopters. It's kind of an odd sight. Usually they're only out here for rescue or something like that. Here Melissa and I are at the top of Mather Pass. We're up over 12,100 feet in what has been a meat grinder of a climb. You can see just a fraction of the valley below. What you can see is probably about 800 or 900 feet below us, but we came from just over 8,000 feet. So we've come up 4,000 feet, and it is all steep rock. It is amazing. Up here you can see, looking the other direction, looking south, that's what's ahead of us. So our reward for getting over this pass is more massive mountains, but still it's quite an achievement for us, and we're proud that
I cried.
we got up here to the top. Melissa cried.
I cried because I could barely stand up, move my legs, and Mike starts dancing.
But we made it.
It was a good cry though.
It was a good cry. I'm still trying to figure out what a good cry is, but Melissa tells me a good cry is indeed a good cry.
Cry.
Anyway.
You're tired and you get it out, and then you're like, yeah, I got this.
Anyway, we're thrilled. So, bye guys.
Bye.
We're at the bottom of Pinochet Pass, between Pinochet and Glen Pass. And there's this monster suspension bridge that you have to cross to get across the river. I guess somebody really wanted to go all out here in the middle of nowhere in the Sierras to build this suspension bridge. But it's very cool. The river's 20 feet wide and the bridge is at least 150 feet wide. And this is the legit deal. I mean, you can get out here and really cause yourself some trouble. There's a warning that says one person at a time on bridge, so maybe I shouldn't be jumping up and down on it, but who's to say? Here's what it's like walking across it. The suspension bridge bounces, flexes, vibrates, and shifts with you as you walk, and isn't very stable. Actually, I'm in the middle now, and I'm bouncing like crazy to the point where I'm a little concerned that I may drop the camera. You can see the river below as I walk. Pretty crazy. Never been on a suspension bridge this big or this long. So this is near the end. Here it is. Here's Melissa on the suspension bridge between Pinochet and Glen Pass. I bounced across with my hands free, holding my camera and my trekking poles, but she's a little more sedate than me. She's carefully finding her way across, holding the handrails like a good citizen, taking her time, getting a little nervous. Now she's going to climb it and scale it like King Kong. It'd be impressive if she climbed those upper barriers and just climbed right straight to the top of this tower up here, but, well, she's thinking about it. No, never mind. She's just going to walk sedately across the bridge, but only after it stops shaking. She does not like that shaking. And here she is. She's made it safely across. Oh, and now she's going to strut for us. Getting video of you. stumbled out of the Sierra Mountains in lonely, isolated Kennedy Meadows, tired and hot from the scorching heat that was pounding the area. We had drank the last of our water, which had turned hot several hours before, and we knew we had a long walk along the exposed road to the Kennedy Meadows store, where we hoped to locate a ride that would take us out of this isolated area, down to the main highway, and then south to Ridgecrest. From there, we could catch a bus across to Bakersfield, California. We could rent a car there and get to Ashland, Oregon, where we would resume the PCT. This is the end of our long journey through the Sierra Mountains, and it is the conclusion of our hike of the state of California on the Pacific Crest Trail. That is when Tiny and Jake entered our lives. Lee, Tiny's wife, would join us later. Tiny pulled up as we walked down the lonely road and asked if we needed a ride. Before we knew it, Tiny had loaded us in his truck with his dog Jake and had slipped an ice-cold Gatorade in each of our hands. As it turned out, Tiny was headed back to his home, which happened to be in Ridgecrest. He took us all the way to Ridgecrest, but his kindness did not stop there. Lee and he took us into their home, fed us, allowed us to shower, and insisted that we stay the night. The next morning, Tiny drove us over 100 miles to Bakersfield, California, to a car rental location where we were able to obtain a car to drive north to Ashland. Talk about amazing people. How does it feel to complete the state of California, baby?
Oh, it feels good to complete the state of California. How does it feel for you?
It feels very tired.
I feel so
I'm very tired, very dehydrated. Couldn't be prouder of my partner.
Hi.
My best friend in the whole world,
my best friend.
and the only person that I would ever do this with.
Aww.
And I'm just grateful to be here with her, and grateful that she's willing to do these silly, crazy things with me. I love you, baby, with all my heart.
Love you, baby.